Good morning, guys. DakotaJPayne back with another video, breaking down midweek update on the 17th of June. Yep, and let's just go straight into it. So basically, main pairs that we've been trading, or that I've traded this week: UChef, CAD and actually Euro USD as well. I just recently took it off my list right before this call. Okay. And sent out a lot of setups, so I'm not gonna go over too many. Yeah, because I don't want to spend so much time on this. Let's go here, and here. Okay. So let's focus on this one. Okay, USD CHF. We got really good opportunities at the beginning of this week, June 15th, for the sell opportunities. Looking for price to continue down. And if we come back to here, that was on the 15-minute, correct? Right. I was about to say, I don't even see where it's at. But come back here. This is the area we sold at. Price continued down to this zone. It gave us what we wanted. Believe price, actually, after coming here, I moved my stop loss to break even. I closed one position and had one trade here at break even. Price came back up, stopped me at a break even. So I hit one, secured profit on one trade, and then hit break even on the second. Okay, and then as you can see here, price is continually moving down here. All right. Now on UChef, no, let's keep going through the breakdowns and we'll go over the next, basically in the review. So here on Euro USD, what we have is a impulse. We have a correction, looking for price to give us a JCP right there in that kill zone and look for it to come down. Okay, if you were paying attention to price at this time that I was, right over here, you can see this exactly what we have drawn up on there. All right, pretty much without the zone. Now with the zone. Okay, so when price got here, we're waiting on a JCP right here in this area. Okay, so we're waiting. We still don't have one. This is not an evening star because this candle does not come at least halfway point of this candle here. So we're still waiting on that JCP. We're waiting. Okay, here's a potential entry. When I was looking at the chart, when I was waiting for this move, I did not see this. So regardless, I missed the opportunity. But let's say you took it because it's a 3 black crows. Because every time we see our setup, we take it. Fortunately, I didn't see it. So I'm sorry I can't share that loss with y'all at this time. But looking for price to come down, basically what you're risking here, if I was taking this, I'd be risking 0.5%. And then obviously, if I'm going to take this trade, I want at least a 2-to-1. Okay. So I'm either going to work with this stop loss or I'm going to see if price can actually break this trend line that we have here, or if this trend line is actually just jacked up because of we're zoomed in so far. All right. Here we go. There you go. And then we can work with the 2-to-1 right there. That's a trade worth taking. And then we determine our risk, whether that's 1%, 0.5%, or 1/4%. I'd be risking 1/4%, going for 0.5%, and either take that loss or take the win. All right. We got our setup. Price does what it needs to do. We can see price actually continued to work its way up, and it moved up impulsively, telling us to not look for that move anymore. Actually going above our impulse here. Okay. Afterwards, it formed an ascending channel. We're not going to break that down. I'm not going to break that down simply because we didn't take advantage of it when it actually happened. So So what's the point in dealing like with hindsight unless we're actually like teaching? Okay, but anyway, as price progressed, I saw price had this ascending channel. It came down. I didn't catch this original setup. I don't believe I caught the first setup until price got, yes. I didn't catch the setup until price got down to here. Got a small impulse, small correction. Took the break out of that correction and look for it to come down to here, right? Looking for it to actually come down to this trend line. And as price came up, formed a second correction, I simply closed on that second correction because I just wanted to secure profits. I didn't want to continue risking, and then basically I was satisfied with the profits and I didn't want to break even. All right, I was like, okay, that's sufficient enough. Let's take my profit and let's look for another setup to enter again. Okay, whole thought process through there. Price corrected up. I was looking for a sell here. I never got that setup there. Price continued up a little bit higher. Okay. And I don't believe I got this other setup. Let's continue. I know I entered the second time. Yeah, okay. So at this point, in this area, when price came back up here one more time, I actually entered off of this candle, this area right here, looking for that sell. The price continues to correct. I closed, and completely honest with you guys, that close was strictly out of fear. I didn't want to stay in trade with all this consolidation going on. I didn't want price to simply get hit by my stop loss. To be completely honest with you. And coming back over here, I took a second entry here as well. So I had two trades running here, and I took profits both here on this drawback here. And then this third entry simply closed due to that consolidation. Okay. Now after that, it doesn't really matter what happened because we weren't in the chart, we weren't in the trade. So that stuff doesn't mean anything to us. Let's go ahead and go to. We weren't in the trade and we weren't paying attention to the chart, or at least me personally. Okay, U-Chef. Continuation from the original setup. Price broke down, waiting for this to correct up to here and then come down. If we look at the chart, price actually continued to form a descending channel and then came back up pretty aggressively around this area here. With that expanding triangle, I was looking for a sell right there in that area. And let's actually go to it and break it down. Here we go. All right. So here's our impulse. This looks weird, not gonna lie. All right. So this is the opportunity that we took. We had an entry here and an entry here. As you know, price came down to this zone, then shot back up, hit this out at break even. Okay. So here's the descending channel I was just talking about. Price formed, and then declared this as an expanding triangle at the moment, right? Yesterday, right? And I was looking for price to reject off of this area. And we can see we have a triple top up there, or head and shoulders. Look pretty even to me, so I'm calling it a triple top. But looking for this to come down to the bottom right here one more time. Okay, now price could potentially continue to push down and actually play off of this expanding triangle and continue down. But as you saw earlier from my earlier markup, let me just hit undo a ton of times. From my earlier markup on the higher time frame, we can see price has actually broken this trend line and it's formed a corrective pattern here. Okay, so ideally, what I want to see right now is price come down to this zone. Give me a JCP. If it gives me a JCP in this area, I'm going to close those sell positions and I'm going to enter for a buy, and we'll see how price works its way up. If price continues down, hey, it's just something that we're going to have to deal with. We're just going to look for a new opportunity. Okay. But if you have a higher time frame impulse and a higher time frame correction, that's something I never want to be against, especially straight after breaking this trend line. Okay. And you'll notice on the higher time frame, we're actually below this trend line here. But why would I sell if it's not giving me a signal to sell at the moment, at least for this higher impulse right here. Go to the 4-hour time frame. If anybody knows my strategy, it's really, really simple. It's not complex at all. It's just dealing with price action. Impulse, and we can see we want a correction. We want some type of let's say consolidation, just to keep it as simple as possible. We want a pattern. There we go. I said the wrong word. We want a pattern. We never got a pattern. Price just shot up, right? That is not a pattern. Okay, so this is forming a pattern here. So this is why I'm taking that opportunity as opposed to just taking a sell blindly due to being in a downtrend. Yeah. And again, if you got any questions, go ahead, comment in the comment section, or go ahead, plug it in the general chat. Why would you do this? What? Give me your perspective on it. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me if you agree. And tell me how you would approach this. All right, let's go ahead and look at our other pairs that we looked at for the week. CAD JPY looks like it's doing really well. CAD JPY, we were looking at the beginning of the week, price was down here. Said wait for an impulse, wait for a correction. We got that correction. Correction came down to our kill zone. And price is up, but honestly, it hasn't made this move at all yet. Okay, so it's not much. Like there's still a lot of development to go on here, and let me figure out how I want to draw this pattern. Draw that. And let's stick with that potential breakout continuation up. Okay, so I'm looking for price to continue up higher. I want to see it come around this area here. Okay, but I'm not going to take this opportunity. Looks like a really good opportunity, but just not too interested in it. Let's go ahead to UJ. UJ, if you're on the first call or saw the first recording Monday session, got this impulsive breakout of this ascending channel, got this correction here, entered right here on the call, all right, and look for it to continue up. I saw a lot of consolidation and price started to form an ascending channel, so I closed that position and closing that position with the initial intention before closing it, like on my entry, looking for price to actually continue to the top of this channel, which is still very valuable, but or possible, all right? But it's just not giving me a pattern that I like, right? You could consider this a what do you kids call it? A rising wedge, right? But I don't trade that pattern in a pawn sync because it literally the ascending, descending channels and the wedges, they look the same to me. Yeah, you can say one's a little bit more steeper than the other, but at what point do you decide that steepness? At what point do you say, okay, this is the wedge, this is my ascending channel? At what point do you make that difference? Do you bring out the protractor and measure the angle? Right? Like I'll just have to study that a lot more and figure out the main difference between the two. But if price does come back down and actually form a pattern that I trade, I will go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity. And what I would like to see for that to actually happen is price come down around this low one more time. Then I would be interested in taking the opportunity. All right, let's go ahead. We already went over you, Jeff. GJ. Okay, GJ took an opportunity down here on Monday's call, looking for price to actually continue up, bare minimum to the top of this correction, and actually looking for it to push up even further than that. price has formed, has broken out of that trend line, broken out of that pattern, giving us a correction. Looking for it to continue up. So what we're going to do is figure out what time frame this correction is actually on. Consider it on the 4 hour. So let's drop down to the 30 minute. I mean, you got an engulfing candle there, right here. I think you're stretching if you're calling that a 3 inside up. Price doesn't quite come to the halfway mark of that candle. But nevertheless, like this is an opportunity here. Let's actually drop down to the 15 minute. And there's some ways that you can go about this. Let's say you stick to the 30 minute, you stick to like your strict guidelines. On 30 minute, you have an engulfing candle telling you to enter. Like you can enter, or you can say, hey, I want a better entry than that. I want to wait for the price to come down to here and give me another JCP. On that and JCP, I'll enter. Right? So what I'm going to do is drop down to the 15 minute, find a better pattern to tell me something a whole lot clearer. You can see here we still have that engulfing candle. Through here we have a 3 inside, or let me calm down. Here we have 3 white soldiers. There we go. The 3 white soldiers there, 2 JCPs telling me to enter. So I'm actually going to enter in this situation and look for that continuation up, right? Now, let me go ahead and place my entry just there. I haven't entered yet. I want to assess the situation first. And also see how long I'm expected to how long I should be expecting to stay in this trade. Okay, so we can definitely get a 3-to-1 and even a 4 or even 5-to-1 out of this, depending on how patient you are. You can get a 5-to-1 out of this. Definitely, if I fix my stop loss, will be not that. All right, so that's basing it off stop loss right below the pattern. I don't strictly practice that just yet. I am weaving it into my plan, so you will see that a lot more often in the future. But that was something I was back testing, so it was just an automatic thing for me real quick. But let's go ahead and make this at 3-to-1. Okay. Let's figure out what Fibonacci level this is bouncing off of to ensure that this is yep, that's the 50 Fibonacci level, so that's fine. That's perfect entry. All confirmations are good. And then let me pause. Okay, so I'll pause the recording because another thing that I've been using over the past few weeks is something that helps you understand how long you're expected to stay in the trade. It can be general, it's probably general knowledge, but something new that I've learned and I really like it. I really like looking at it, especially for the trades that I'm expecting to hold for several days or maybe a few weeks as well. Okay, so on GJ, probably going to be staying in this trade for bare minimum 4 days. All right. And then, so probably next Wednesday, go and decide whether to close or not if price is in profit. Well, definitely by tomorrow we will see. Most likely by tomorrow we'll see if I get stopped out or if price is going to move into profit for us. But yeah, I like the opportunity. I already entered down here, so just looking for that continuation to push up even further. So let's go ahead and take the opportunity. So I'll come back to that. Okay, Euro USD. Euro USD could be really interesting, depending on how you view the market. Okay, there's possibilities I'm seeing. We have a strong impulse here. We want a bigger correction to come down. Okay, and for that to actually be sufficient enough for me, like a sufficient correction. I like to see price actually break this trend line and continue correcting down, possibly to this area down here. Right now, price is forming a small correction on the higher time frame and giving us short-term sales down to this trend line, something that we can capitalize off of. Okay, and if we want to expand and say we want price to, yeah, that's a terrible trend line. I don't like that one. I'm gonna keep this one. We'll go to the 4-hour. Okay, you can see price on this downtrend, which on the higher time frame is just a correction. Price working its way down to here, this area down here. Potentially break it. That's what I definitely like to see. If price breaks that trend line, obviously look for a correction, look to buy up, potentially right here to this area, and even to that supply zone as well. Okay, and here you can consider this a head and shoulders, looking for price to continue down, potentially retesting this neckline. But I'd say be careful, right? Just be wary, pay attention, make sure you have your setup, make sure you have every single one of your confirmations before executing that position, as always. Now, recently on this pair, the potential setup that I see is price could correct, and I would like price to correct up to this area right here. And then sell off from that point. That's my preference. That's what I'd like to see. Do I want this on my list? No. Well, I want it on my list, but I'm not going to put it on my list because I already have 3 pairs on my list at the moment. I just put GJ because I'm taking that trade after this call. So that's pretty much it, guys. Besides catch-up's potential buy and a potential, like, right now it's a potential buy. That's the most probable setup going on right now because we have an expanding triangle forming here, and it's right on this kill zone right here. So you can buy that as well. And we'll see how that plays out, right? And if price breaks that trend line, obviously waiting for a correction, look for it to sell down from that area. Okay, but this is a strong sell zone here. That's why I have this zone here. So paying attention to this zone here as well. So being very, very wary. Want to be reactive. So I want the market to show me something first before I actually enter into the market. I want to see my setup, and I want to see price essentially break out of this area. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys do want to join the Discord channel, get on to these live calls, hit the Discord link in the description. We have general chat, live streaming calls, send out what's these called? Analysis. I send out these screenshots on a weekly basis and have 2 calls a week. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you later.